Hello everyone, welcome to episode 9, and we're now at the turning point of this experiment. Thank God, is all I can say. So if anyone's just clicked on, I've just been spending 17 weeks, 4 months of my life getting as fat as I can, overeating, eating loads of processed foods, loads of anything pretty much that everybody else eats, but I just overeating as much as I can. And yeah, I'm incredibly happy that I'm now going to be able to start eating healthy and getting better. Because there's a lot of bad things that come with being overweight and just eating junk food in general, or processed food. A lot of people say can think junk food is just McDonald's. The way I see food is if human beings have made it and it's in a packet, then it's junk food. It's not real food, it's just like a product. And this is what's causing humanity really, a lot of problems. It's just these products that people are eating rather than eating real food. So yeah, now I can actually start losing the weight. So I'm going to run over my stats again, final stats. I've just put on a little bit more weight from last time. I've also got a tape measure to take a belly measurement. So hopefully as I lose the weight, that's obviously going to go down. But it's just another way of tracking. So I've been tracking my weight. I did track my body fat percentage when I first started the experiment by one of those machines where you can grab all the handles and it sends a signal around your body. But that machine's been down, so that unfortunately has kind of gone to waste. But the belly fat thing will kind of compensate for that, I guess. Sorry, the waist thing. So firstly, I'm going to go over all my stats again. Then I'm going to show you what I look like again, and then I'm going to basically go roughly what the goal is. See, the goal is going to be a little bit different. Because one thing I have learned from looking back on myself, one thing I've been reminded of, is that I was a little bit scrawny at the beginning, and that was due to not having enough muscle. It wasn't, being scrawny is not due to not having enough fat on your body. That's ridiculous. It's just, you need to have a little bit of muscle. What happened is, over the last 2 years, I've sort of got into endurance events or Tough Mudders and things like that, and I kind of let the muscle side of things go, and swapped it for doing some endurance training and stuff like that. It's just me being a bit lazy really, so I'm not going to let that happen again. So my body weight is now 173 pounds, so it's just a little bit up from the last episode, which is 78.8 kilograms, and that's a gain of 34.2 pounds or 15.5 kilograms. Now that's equivalent to 62 blocks of butter. That's how much I've gained. That's the actual amount of weight I've gained. So it's a fair old bit really. The other thing is BMI that I've been measuring. So I started off at 22.1 and I've gone up 5 points to now being at 27.6. That's a gain of 5.5 points. And how that works basically is it's just a weight to height ratio. So if you've got a BMI of 18.5 or under 18.5, you're said to be underweight. Normal weight is between 18.5 and 25, and if you're between 25 and 30, then you're overweight. Above 30 is classed to be obese. But there is a few problems with that. If you've got quite a lot of high quality muscle on your body, even if your body fat's quite low, you can still be in the overweight category. So it's not really a perfect way of checking your health status. But what is more important than that is a measurement or a ratio of your waistline to your height. So I bought a measuring tape for that. Basically, your waist should be 50% of your height or under. And these are sort of things where these are connected to heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and all that kind of thing. So so I've got that, and I'll check that shortly. I'll check that when I do my what I look like now. So the other thing I've been tracking is my blood glucose, and the reason for that is because again, same as your waist to height ratio, having a high blood glucose levels it is directly connected to a lot of the diseases that are, you know, the big killers. Talking about cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, and pretty much, you know, there's it's hard to say a disease that isn't connected to having consistently high blood glucose levels, and that's because of the hormone insulin, which is also the reason why we get fat. So your body is a pretty clever thing. It tries to balance out what you're doing to it all the time, and you know, with modern society we pretty much we can't keep up. So I put a little graph up on the screen, but basically, if your blood glucose goes up, your body does not like having high blood glucose going around your body. It's if you keep doing that and insulin doesn't come in and take that glucose out, what will happen is your blood cells will become glycated, which means basically they bond to glucose. And when that happens, and you've got sticky blood going around your blood around your body, and you can imagine how, you know, that's not really going to be very good. You've got like micro blood vessels in your eyeballs and your brain and all your organs. You know, your blood needs to get absolutely everywhere to take nutrients and oxygen to all those places. So if you've got glycated blood glucose, it's not a favourable situation to be in. So insulin comes in, gets that blood glucose out. It gets the glucose out of your blood, sorry. But if you keep doing that, if you keep spiking it, then eventually you'll just become resistant to the effects of that insulin, and that's diabetes. So my blood glucose levels have got pretty high. When I put the graph up, you'll see the line that's at number 5 is 90, and these are fasting blood glucose levels. So that's when I've not eaten for 4.5 hours, something like that. So the line of 5 is at 90, the 5.5 line is 99, and the 6 line is 108. So nobody should have a fasting blood glucose of 108. You don't really want a fasting blood glucose above 100. So once you get into those levels, then you are pre-diabetic, and you can see from the graph that I've just basically made myself pre-diabetic, and quite sure if I carry on the way I'm going with me eating, maybe another, I don't know, 5-6 months, then I will be diabetic. But like I said in the first video, I should be able to reverse that pretty quick. I expect my fasting blood glucose to be in the 80s or below consistently by the second week of just changing my diet and the way I'm eating. So I'll put that graph up now, and I will keep over the next 2 weeks my diet. I'll make sure I take 3 blood glucose readings, so it will show it pretty consistently. I have been doing it once or twice a week, but for the next 2 weeks I'll take it Monday, Wednesday and Friday without fail, and always exactly 4 hours after eating. So I'll put that up now. So that was a graph of my blood glucose. Now I'm going to show you what it looked like. I'm going to do the normal one where I just whip the top off. I'll measure my waist, and then I'm going to do another one on the side wall. Just basically because I'm going to do this sort of every episode, and you'll be able to see more because it's kind of more uniform, if you will, and I'll be able to like put them next to each other. Whereas this way, I've just like the phone's been a different length away and all that kind of thing. So there'll be 2 of them. I'll also take my waist measurement and see what that is. Last one on this one. Yeah, I don't know if I've actually lost a little bit of the fat underneath my arms there and my chest muscles, but I don't know. So this is my belly to waist ratio checking. Supposedly just above the belly button. That is 38 inches. Okay, so that's what I look like. Now I'm going to talk about the goal. So the goal that I'm going to try and reach over the next 4 months isn't to get back down to the same weight. Because like I said before, I want to keep a bit of muscle. And lean muscle weighs more than fat. So if I got down to the same weight, I'd have to lose all my muscle again. And that's not really the healthiest way to lose weight. I mean, you can just stop eating, or you can just pick at food throughout the day and make sure you're eating well under your calories, and you're going to lose weight. But that's it's not a very healthy way to lose weight at all, and it's not a healthy end situation to be in. So the goal is going to be to get down to the same body fat percentage, which was 14.3. I have been as low as 13 before, and I have had more muscles and been low body fat before, but I've never really checked it or logged it or anything like that. So that's the goal. Okay, so the food plan. Three main aspects of the food plan is to get my insulin level back down to what it should be, to more of a natural level. This should help me sort of release some human growth hormone. When one's high, the other one is lower. It's saying the other way around. You know, you can't have a high human growth hormone level when insulin is present or insulin is high. The second one is to help my gut microbiome, which are several hundred trillion microbes you've got living in your gut. These are very, very much connected to health. And the third one is just basically just to get a ton of nutrition in my body. So, you know, everyone eating processed foods, you're going to be deficient in a lot of vitamins and minerals. And deficient in vitamins and minerals means that certain organs aren't going to be able to work properly. You know, every organ in your body needs a lot of nutrition. And you know, us as a society have just kind of forgotten all about that, and we're all deficient in a lot of vitamins and minerals. So this is just going to be a plan over the next 2 weeks, and then I'm going to change the plan depending on where I am, how I feel, and stuff like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is shorten my eating window. When I say eating, I mean eating or drinking anything that is not water. And that'll depend on what day it is, really. So at the weekend, I'm definitely not going to be eating anything till 10 o'clock. I'll just eat when I actually feel hungry. During the week, it will depend whether I'm going to the gym or not. So if I'm not going to the gym, I'll start eating on my morning break time, which is 10:15, and hopefully I'll finish my last meal at around 7:15. So that's like a 9-hour eating window. When I do go to the gym, I'll start eating at lunchtime on my lunch break, because my evening meal will be later on. It's going to be like 8 or 9 or something like that. So I'm basically going to try and get my eating window down to 8 or 9 hours. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. The second thing is obviously what I'm going to be eating. And what I'm going to be eating is going to be a very, very high fruit and veg content. I'd say like 95 to 100%. And again, depends on what day it is. So during my work days, I'm going to take a cantaloupe melon, and they're only about that big, but they've got an absolute ton of nutrition in. And if you've ever tried to eat a full cantaloupe melon, you know, it's pretty filling. So that's the other thing I want to point out as well. I might just be eating fruit and veg, which is pretty low calorie food, but I'm going to eat as much as I can. You know, I don't want to get to the point where I've just eaten a meal and I'm feeling hungry. You don't want to be sort of on a diet and feeling hungry is kind of it's not going to go well. So I'm going to eat as much as that's possible, and then for sort of my next meal I'll be just having something like bananas or something like that. Both bananas are pretty good in nutrition as well. For my evening meal, it's either going to be one of two things. It's either going to be a crock pot full of vegetables, which are pretty much always going to be or include broccoli, asparagus and mushrooms, because between those three things, again, there's a fantastic amount of nutrition. If it's not going to be that, it's going to be a smoothie. So I've also bought a new blender just because it's got a 1.5 litre capacity. So the smoothie will either be kale or spinach or both, depending on what I've got in. That's always going to be in there. Again, fantastic amount of nutrition in both kale and spinach. They are absolutely brilliant at nutrition. The other one is avocado. Always going to put an avocado in. And the third thing is pineapple for taste. And this is just going to be the base of it. I'm going to chuck some other bits and bats in and have a mess around with that. I've bought some flax seeds and I've got some hemp seeds coming, so they're good at like fats that you need and oils that you need, and they've both got a little bit of protein in as well. And that's pretty much going to be it. That's going to be the base of it. At weekend, I might have some kind of eggs or some chicken wings as a first meal, but I'm always going to end on the either the smoothie or the crock pot of veggies. And that's pretty much going to be it. And I think that'll make a huge amount of difference. That, and cutting my eating window down to the 8 or 9 hours. Those two together, and obviously not getting any other processed food. So, that's going to be quite a big change from eating what most people call the standard American diet or the standard Western diet, which is just basically processed junk food. It's like bread, crisps, pizza, cans of pop. It's just rubbish. So that should make quite a difference over the next two weeks. It'll be to the next one. If anyone's got any questions about why I've picked those foods or anything like that, or anything really, give me a shout in the comment section below. Don't forget, if you have just come across this video, hit that subscribe button, whichever side it's on, I don't know. And if you hit the little bell, it'll tell you when I got a new video up. I'm not going to be one of them YouTubers who just keep spamming videos just to get views. I'm only going to make one that's part of the plan. So I think that's about it for this week. Also, if you think I'm going to lose a certain amount of weight, or if you think I'm not going to lose a certain amount of weight, put that in your comment section below. If you can guess how much that's going to cut. I'm still going to be going to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, pretty much doing the same thing, which is lifting really heavy weights. But now I'm going to add a bit more of the warm up for lifting heavy weights. Is going to be cardio. You obviously do a 5-minute warm up. Now it's going to be like a 10-minute warm up and a little bit more intense. So this is just going to slowly bring up my cardio health. Because in 10 weeks today, or 10 weeks yesterday, I have got a Spartan race. So not only do I need to lose that, I need to get to a certain fitness level to be able to do that. It's only a short one. It's about 3.5 miles for this one, which is the shortest event of this year. Every other event I'm going to be doing is above that. So that'll be fun to see if we can get back to that fitness level. But that's pretty much it for this week. So I'll see you in 2 weeks. Please do share this video if you think anyone is going to benefit from it, or whatever. See you later.